In 2020, I released 2 singles as well as did some soft releases of a couple EPs on Bandcamp. And then I also composed music for film projects that were produced by Flagstaff Shakespeare Festival. Our quarantine was inspired by my relationship. I found myself concerned for all the people who were sheltering in place, sheltering at home, who weren't in good relationships, and I felt incredibly lucky. I released that song and used it as a fundraiser for Flagstaff Victim Services.
That's why living by the dollar, it ain't good or right.
By the Dollar was me trying to grapple with the money struggles that I saw so many of my friends and community dealing with throughout pandemic. It's challenging to be a musician in Flagstaff because Flagstaff bleeds artists. So as someone who's committed to this town, it is a challenge to develop the relationships and the commitments to the art community that keep people around.
2012 is when we actually started making songs together, and we just been kind of going at it slowly until 2019 when we released what we consider our real album, debut album.
In 2020, being that we were all in, quarantine, without having any shows go on, we had time to make a second album.
From cabin fever to figuring how to make the rent, to saving the children and the women from the astral band. I'm going crazy from the thought of it. I'm trying to process how to really make a difference.
Production-wise, it wasn't as big as last night. Even the feeling of it, it was more on a positive side of it. Last night, it's just straight, sad.
With last night and all of our glorious mishaps, we reached a bigger audience than ever before. With that, we also kind of were looked at representing the Navajo people. So we didn't want to just paint everybody as this sad, depressing image. Intentionally, we wanted to make a happier, more hopeful album because of that, but it also just kind of happened on its own too, as we were kind of growing from things.
I personally am not a huge fan of the sonic quality of holiday music usually, and so for me I wanted to make kind of an indie rock record that had those themes of holiday music within them, obviously with some of the rewriting that we did with some of the more traditional lyrics to try to make it more inclusive for everyone.
And we do have some songs on the album that are originals that we wrote from scratch, and where maybe more Christmas music is kind of more straightforward or more, might I say, even cheesy at times and sweet and fun in that way. But the original songs we were able to write, I think we wanted to hit Christmas is hard for people sometimes. It's a time where you miss that loved one who's passed away, or you wish you could be doing something, especially in the pandemic time when we couldn't be together. So kind of trying to find those new twists that you can pull from the Christmas narrative.
So the music of sci-fi country is kind of like the name of sci-fi country. There's got some roots influence from some of our favorite country artists, some of the old world, which we tie in with the new. We started playing in town and it seems like we were a band that people really wanted to dance to. If you were going to see sci-fi country, it was going to be a party.
Literally, our last show was March 13th in Nashville, Tennessee. And we literally drove 24 hours straight to get back to Flagstaff, after doing a 30-day tour that was supposed to end in South by Southwest.
Almost a weird air around how great it felt to be traveling all across the country, and then just like a record scratch at a party, it all ended. We were lucky to play some events at the Orpheum. We played a couple events in Bisbee.
Yeah, and then Bisbee, we got to play a really awesome, socially distanced outdoor show at the Jonquil. So that was a cool, reassuring thing that maybe one day live music will be a thing again.